everyone, and welcome to the Geomologist Presents. In this very short segment, compared to other gameplays, we're going to make characters for a future game of Dune, and we will be using the Dune rule set by Modifius. It's a 2d20 rule set, very different than. It's more on the narrative side of the 2d20, I would say. So not a lot of granularity during certain, I would say, action scenes. And honestly, I'm still debating if I'm going to make them vague or more narrative, or import what we use in Cohorts Cthulhu or Octoon Cthulhu. 'Cause I think that's one of the better kind of, at least action combat kind of scenes where you have stress and certain wounds for major characters, etc. So maybe we'll see. I'll have to think about that. I still have some time, but this is a rule book, and we will likely start with the quick start as an adventure. Although there is a way to generate random adventures, and the quick start does have pre-gen characters, as does, sort of looking at this banner that you see in the background, the Fall of the Imperium banner. That's a cover from the Fall of the Imperium, sort of, I guess it's a book, like an adventure book that details the events during the book Dune, but from the point of view of the characters that you create. And it presumes in this particular adventure that you are not Harkonnen or Atreides, if you're familiar with the books. So we'll see. And I would like to do, it'd be kind of, what I would like to do is for the characters not to pick one of those houses and create their own house. We will probably not do that today. We'll do that when the other player characters who want to play are here. But today we have two people who are going to make characters, and I will introduce them, and then they might give me a concept that they have in mind, and we'll try to create a character fitting that concept. And it's kind of like a lot of choices that you make as opposed to rolling dice to make your character. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So first we have Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen, and I don't have a PC yet, so we'll see what comes out of all that.
Okay. You don't have a concept in mind yet?
Well, I've got some ideas, so we'll see.
Okay. All right. And we have Amy.
Hello, I'm Amy, and I have a picture already made of my character, and I was thinking I'd like to do like a Fremen swordsman.
Okay. We'll see.
Like a,
I don't
like
know.
a
We'll
sword
see how that
specialty.
fits.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll see
somewhere
how that
around in
fits.
there.
Right. I mean, you're going to be factors for a house, so right, you're not going to be part of a Fremen Steech. It's going to be more of a, I guess, your house apparently is going to know some Fremen and be allied with them or something like that. I guess. I guess that's possible. Anything's possible. It's our doing, isn't it,
Mm-hmm.
Arlen? I mean, are you going to, is anyone going to go, oh, you can't do that? I don't know.
Well, depends on what it is, right? If you start making a machine that can think, we might have problems with the tenets of the Imperium, but
Right. No computers.
yeah, no
That's
computers,
what Mentat are for.
no computers, and the guns aren't useful.
Right.
That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. Right. Okay. So I guess let's get going. I have you guys have character sheets here. So I have named Arlen's PC and Amy's PC, and the character
Pulling
sheet's
mine up.
kind of cool. It's very stylistic, and I think you can type things out in there. Yeah. So you don't know the house yet, unless we want to do that, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't. I guess I'd like to all characters input who are deciding to play. That's my, with the house. What do you guys think?
That's fine. Okay, whichever.
Okay. So the step one is a concept. So here I'm looking at in the page 109 of the core rulebook, and the first step is creating a player. The first step in creating a player character is to decide what kind of general sort of character to create. You can look through the archetypes later and later here. There's some archetypes that we can choose, um, or make something more custom. So there's also faction characters and templates. It seems that the majority of the player characters will be ordinary people working for the group's house and capable enough to have achieved some degree of standing and importance, but otherwise typical of people who inhabit the Imperium. But some of the player characters, and for example, the most iconic characters are part of a faction outside the system of Dune, or the noble houses, sorry, in Dune. So there's Bene Gesserit, Mentat, Space Guild, Sook Doctor, or a Fremen, right? But all of these characters will be loyal to the noble house a player characters serve, but they have other loyalties and ties that cannot be ignored. So that's pretty interesting. They also possess some of the most advanced training and abilities in the Imperium, so care must be taken, etc., etc. Okay, so they have like in the following pages they have some templates. They have a Bene Gesserit sister, a Fremen, a Mentat, spacing guild agent, and Sook Doctor, like they mentioned. So I think Amy, you were going to choose one of those
Fremen.
templates, right?
Well,
Okay,
I mean, I don't want to. I want to play a Fremen.
right. So you'll have an additional trait, Fremen, when we get to traits,
Okay.
which is at the bottom, finishing touches. And they have some suggested archetypes. So athlete, duelist, infiltrator, protector, scout, sergeant, and warrior. And then there's some mandatory talents that you have to take as well. And
Okay.
go the archetype.
Are we starting with me? I thought we were going to start with Arlen.
Oh, I'm just giving you the archetype. I don't know, or sort of this template. I don't know, Arlen, if you're going to choose a template or not, a faction template, or just start with the archetype.
I think not a faction template. I think my person is just going to be a member of the Great House, or not so great house, I guess, as the case
Yeah,
may be.
depending on what you guys roll. Cats cause problems. Dogs are okay; they sit quietly while you record, but cats
They
dumb
don't.
things like
They
knock
don't.
stuff off the table, crawl all over the keyboard, etc., etc. Okay. All right. All right. So I guess I have to look at a character sheet just to kind of maybe give you some direction. So faction, I guess, if you're using a faction template, Amy, you would put Fremen in there.
Oh, let me get back because I was changing a name.
Mm-hmm.
So down at the bottom, you said
No, at the top where it says faction.
faction is Fremen.
Yep. And then under personality traits, you should put Fremen also.
Okay.
Oh, good. They have NPC sheets, which is great. Oh, and a house sheet. That's even better.
Okay.
Okay. So that's where we are now. And then now we go to archetypes. All right. So I guess we'll go to Arlen first for the different archetypes that are available. And hold on. Okay. Yeah, archetypes. Wow, there's quite a few. If you go to page 113, there's a whole list of archetypes. And the archetypes will get you a trait, skills, suggest some foci, and a talent from them. So the archetype provides a single trait representing your role. Skills are marked primary and one is secondary, and these will be increased in the next step. And then you get two foci. I don't think you choose you don't choose I guess. So they have skills, and then eventually you do drives. Drives are kind of like your attributes, I would say, and skills are skills, right? So we don't do drives until the end, so you can kind of think about your character and then put the drives there. So in this game, when you roll the 2d20, what you roll under is going to be the skill plus your drive, right? So and that can, of course, is malleable depending on the situation, which is interesting. All right, so there's you want me to go through them? I guess I'll go through them. Arlen, have you
I think I know
decided?
what archetype I want.
Okay, well, good. And
Go
then
through.
Amy, you have to choose an archetype too. And then
Okay.
they had some specific or suggested for the Fremen.
Okay.
So
So what?
right. Go ahead, Arlen. Which archetype?
All right, I think I'm going to choose the tactician archetype because that
Okay.
seems cool. It's sort of um, in between the like big command or strategist level,
Mhm.
kind of a leader of a small unit, or useful in like training up the forces of a house or something like that. A little bit like a number of the characters that we see in the
Right.
book in the movie, right? Like Gurney Halleck, kind of
Yeah.
doing that sort of thing.
Right. So you're going to be able to choose a primary skill, which you'll put at 6, and a secondary skill, which is at 5, and then 3
Yeah,
other skills, which are going to be rated at 4. And then after that, you'll have 5 points to add among your skills to a maximum of 8. So Amy, I can list the art. So you could go ahead and and then for a tactician, battle is the primary skill, so that would be a 6.
For me?
No, for Arlen.
Oh, I was like, wait, I haven't chosen anything yet.
And then your understand is going to be your secondary skill, so that will be a 5. And then you have the other 3 will be at 4. So communicate, discipline, and move will be at 4. And then you have, like I said, that many 5 points to increase them to no more than 8. Does that make sense?
No more than 8 each.
Yeah, but I haven't. Yeah, no more than 8 for this. 8 total for the skills. And then you're going to get when we can
And
get
8 in each skill, or an 8 total of all the skills?
no an 8. So to repeat it again, your primary is going to be a 6. Your secondary is going to be a 5. The other 3 skills are 4s, and then you have 5 points to add to any of those. So there are only 1, 2, 3. There's only 5 skills, right? Okay.
yeah,
So Amy, I'm going to give you the suggested archetypes for a Fremen.
And where does this go on the sheet?
Which one? The archetype?
Yes.
Um, I don't see where. I guess under role, maybe
Okay.
put under role.
Okay.
But these archetypes suggested for a Fremen are athlete, duelist, infiltrator, protector, scout, sergeant, or warrior.
Um, I know what a scout is. What is sergeant?
But I guess they're like also a leader, like Arlen's character type. Like, so they have battle and communicate are
And
their skills. Scout is move and understand.
and warrior.
Warrior is battle and discipline.
Hmm. I guess we'll do warrior, because isn't that closest to? Isn't that closest to like? I mean, you said duelist, but
Yeah, duelist is battle and move.
it's
So
not.
battle is probably your fighting ability. Move is like moving. So I guess sorry, maybe I should read some of these to give better context. So duelist, mastery in battle. You're gonna have duelist is your trait, battle, move, and then you'll have bowsai and dueling and short blades, and you'll have a talent, the slow blade. Um, warrior was the other one you looked at.
Mm-hmm.
So battle, discipline, like we said, bowsai are dirty fighting and long blade, and talents are to fight. To fight someone is to know them. That sounds very Fremenish. And then scout, the other one that you
And that was
were,
warrior, the second one
yeah.
you went. Okay.
And scout, oh, they kind of have them broken down into the archetypes depending on the skill focus. So scout is move and understand, and the foci is putting theory into practice. The talents are endurance. I think that's the other way around, actually. No, talents are endurance and stealth. Actually, I think it's the other way around. Endurance and stealth are the foci, and putting theory into practice is your talent.
Okay. What do you think, Arlen, makes more sense, the warrior or the scout?
I don't know.
I would think maybe scout.
What and Arlen, you were what again? It's not tactician, right?
Yeah, tactician.
And that was
Okay.
War Master, yeah. War Master type archetype, battle archetype.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to choose scout, and then from there you said,
Yeah, so your primary skill is move, so move is going to be 6,
okay, so move, okay.
and your skill at 5 is going to be understand,
Okay.
and the other 3 are going to be 4. So battle, communicate, and discipline will be 4,
Okay, so
and then you have 5
battle,
points.
battle, communicate, and discipline.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I guess you put it in the little box.
Well, I'm writing it on a
Oh,
sheet
yeah.
of paper for right now.
Oh,
Okay,
right. And then yeah, you put it in the little hex, I guess,
yes.
the number. But then you have 5 points to add to any of those, but you can't have higher than 8. So Arlen, where are you at in that?
So I have done my skills with my extra points. I'm at 7 in battle and understand, 5 in discipline and communicate, and 4 in move.
Okay. And then you have the foci in combat awareness and tactics. So I guess you put those in the rectangle, right?
Yeah.
And your talent is decisive action. And I can look that up while Amy puts her skills in place, her points.
Yeah, I have one more to go.
So that's a talent, right?
Okay, I think I have it.
So decisive action.
Okay.
So I'll do. Go ahead.
You said there was something else that my scout got for being a Fremen.
Well, you have the trait Fremen already.
Right, but
your faction is Fremen.
Right, but I thought you said there was something else I had, or was that the warrior? Something else had.
I lost you, Amy.
I'm right here. I asked a question.
Oh, something else had what?
When you were reading them off, you read off all the numbers, right? But you said something about, and you got a focus or something else and something else.
Yeah, you get 2 foci and a talent. So I'll give you those again.
Right. I have the foci. I didn't get the talent.
All right. Get to that. And I was going to check the Fremen template again to see if there's anything else that you got here.
Okay.
No, the addition, you just get right now. You just get the trait Fremen.
I get that, but there's not a talent. I thought you said some of the other ones came with a talent.
Yes, you get a talent now for the archetype.
Okay.
So the talent for you, I'm going to get to those.
For scout?
Yeah, the talent for scout is putting theory into practice. And your foci are endurance and stealth.
Putting theory into practice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. save changes. I don't know what that talent does, but that's okay.
Yeah. So I guess those foci would be under like you could put them under move if that's your main. So endurance and stealth.
I put extra in there.
Right. So you're right, and then that. All right. So I was gonna tell what the talents did for
Okay.
people. So decisive action in conflict when you succeed at battle at a battle test to remove an opponent's assets, and you bought one or more dice by generating threat, you may spend 2 points of momentum to remove a secondary enemy asset. Okay. So I guess you can get rid of their assets, which could be people, equipment, etc., resources.
That's a good one for Arlen's character.
And then action, what was it? Action or put theory into practice.
Yes.
Putting theory into practice. Once per scene, when you obtain information, you may create a trait for free, which must represent an advantage, opportunity, or weakness you have identified with the information that you've received.
Create a trait for free on a weakness.
Yeah, well, you can create when you obtain information, which is an action type of thing you can do. So like a skill roll of some sort. You may create, so once per scene, you can create a trait for free, which represents either an advantage for you, an opportunity for your group, or a weakness from the information.
Okay.
So it's like a scout type of action.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I supposed to put something to the right of battle, communicate, discipline, move, and understand, or does that come later?
That'll come later. The foci you have are under move right now. I'm assuming. Does that make sense? I think
these are skills, and I'm asking you. Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah, where you put endurance.
I don't think I'm asking my question correctly to where you're understanding my question.
Okay.
On other character sheets, if we had a focus in something, we were to check it, or we put something next to it.
Yeah, I think you just type out there in that block that says focus. So to the right of move.
Okay.
And to put endurance and stealth.
Okay.
Yeah, the focuses are instead of like Octon or cohorts where it's a specific list, it's more free form.
Right.
Okay, and then you said move, and that's the only one. Move has endurance and stealth, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know for sure stealth seems like move, but endurance. Let me see if they put it somewhere else. I mean, I'm assuming because move is your main thing.
Well, I put most of my points in move. I put 8 there because you said I can only have an 8. So battle at 5, communicate at 4, discipline 4, move at 8, understand at 7.
Okay. Okay. So where are we at now? We're at the beginning of the book for some reason.
Okay.
All right. So so you got okay. So you have So we did the skills. Now we actually get more focuses or foci. It says focuses in the book, but isn't it foci? Isn't that correct?
We'll just go with focuses right now.
Okay.
Because that's what the sheet says.
All right. So now we're going to pick four focuses.
Okay.
And there's quite a bit of focuses. So at least one has to be in your primary. So I feel like let's see. I was trying to look for endurance to see where that was at. Come on, why did you do that?
We put it under move. If it's wrong, we'll move it at a different point in time.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to do, but my PDF was acting dumb.
That's okay. Which ones are you picking, Arlen?
So at least one more of the foci has. Keep saying foci. At least one more of the focuses have to be in your primary. So
Which
that's what I was looking.
which for me are move and understand.
Yeah, well, move is your primary. Yeah,
So right now, all my focuses are only in move,
right. But
endurance,
yep,
and skill.
you can pick 4 more.
But you said they had to be in move or understand.
No, they can be in any of them, but at least one has to be in move.
Okay.
There's a fun one in move
Okay.
that you might like.
Which is
Worm Rider.
what?
Worm Rider.
Worm rider. I do like that. I do want to be a worm rider. I'm tired of getting eaten by them. Okay. What are you picking, Arlen?
So I got tactics and combat awareness from my archetype, and then I picked command and long blade. So I felt like that's a good.
Yeah, a battle focus would be like in long blade is sword, short blade is knife. They have sneak attacks in there.
Do they
And
have Do they have one that goes with any of the other things I have? Because I picked one. I have to pick 3 more.
oh, Jeff's joining us.
That's fine.
That's cool.
Okay. Are there other ones you suggest I get, Arlen?
I don't know. I guess whatever seems interesting and fun to you.
Well, I guess I will pause the recording and check them out.
Okay. I was looking for where endurance was. Sorry. And then this,
Okay.
maybe if Jeff joins us, he can catch up.
Okay, well, let me pause a moment. Paused.
Okay. We actually have another person who's joined our group to do character creation, and that is Jeff. I guess, Jeff, you can probably catch up to the focus part. Maybe not list the focuses yet, but maybe give your concept and archetype
And skills.
and skills at this point. Yeah.
Okay. So I am doing a Bene Gesserit sister spy who is going to also have some of the training of a as an empath as well, but her main focus is spy. So like talents are after focuses, so I won't talk about what I'm doing with those yet.
Okay.
But so both of those are understanding based archetypes. So understand is my primary skill. For a spy, move is their secondary. And then, so I'll be increasing based on that.
Okay.
And then communicate is the secondary of an empath. So I'll be improving communicate as well. I'm not decided on exactly how I'm spending my 5 points.
Okay.
To increase.
Cool.
I'll probably do one into understand, one into move, one into communicate, and one into battle, and then I'm not sure what the last point will be.
Okay. Well, I think Arlen listed his focuses already, right?
I don't remember if I said, but I can say it again. So for understand, I have combat awareness, which is, being able to tell what's going on in a fight, not always too easy. For discipline, I have command, which is good for, making people do what you want if they're under your command, I guess. And then for battle, I have tactics and long blade, although I might replace long blade because the character is taking shape in a different way as I'm working on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. And then Amy, I guess, has her focuses
Yes.
ready while Jeff catches up the skills and maybe has thought about focuses.
I went ahead on my skill. My final one was to bring communicate up. So both communicate and move are at 6 with
Okay.
understand at 7.
So Amy, your focuses?
I have under battle at 5, I have sneak attack. Communicate at 4, I have linguistics.
Yep.
Because you said that's the one that I can put things in people's minds.
Yeah, like incept people.
I have discipline at 4 with endurance. I have move at 8 with stealth and my favorite, worm rider. And then I have understand at 7 with traps.
Okay. Cool. All right. And I guess, Jeff, do you know what your focuses might be?
So the ones that I
Before
get,
jump to talents. Yeah.
the ones that I get for spy are deductive reasoning and kindly.
Oh, okay.
And then the empath would normally do body language and social awareness. So I'm thinking I might do those just to continue with the whole.
Yeah. Cool.
So trying to figure out which of those. So one of those would be another understand focus, and the other would be a communicate focus. So body language is probably the communicate focus, I would bet.
Mm-hmm. So am I correct? And you guys should have 6 focuses. Is that right?
6 focuses.
No, focuses is 4.
Oh, so the ones from
5.
your archetype.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6.
No, the two suggested in your archetype should be part of your 4.
Suggested. You don't get those for free. Okay.
Yeah, you don't get anything for free.
Yeah.
Everything is added or is part of what they tell you the total.
So I have to get rid of one?
You have to give it a 2.
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, you should only have 4 focuses.
4, yeah. 4 to start.
Okay, then we're going to get rid of the neurolinguistics, I think.
Okay.
And the traps. Because I still am adamant about riding a worm, being stealthy, enduring, and sneaking.
Okay. I don't know if you'll ever get to use that, but I know you wanted it. So the worm rider thing. But we'll see.
I have subtle step too.
Yep. Okay. So I guess we're on to talents now. Is that correct?
Yep, I've already got all 3 of mine. So.
All right. So we'll go Arlen, since he hasn't spoken for a little bit. So Arlen, your talents.
3 talents. So I got 1 from my archetype that I decided to keep. That's decisive action, which is cool that it basically you can spend momentum as long as you bought dice with threat in a battle test to do extra damage, basically, as a small summary. And then I also bought bold, which means that I can reroll d20s when I bought dice with threat. You can see how that fits together.
Nice.
And then I bought direct, which I thought was really cool for a kind of the tactician character to just be like, you get to go right now. So basically just gets to mess with the initiative order and the action economy for one quick thing.
Okay.
Which I thought was cool.
And Amy, you have your talents?
I don't have them listed out yet, so you'd have to say what they are. So I took subtle step, resistance, and master at arms.
All right. So resistance in battle, I think, is what it is specifically.
Resistance in battle?
Yeah, so like resistance. So like you see how Arlen has bold and then battle in parentheses, so it'd be resistance, battle. All right, so Master at Arms is at the start of a duel or skirmish or a battle scene.
No, I meant we can just add those into the character sheet later.
Yeah. At the start of a duel, skirmish, or battle scene, select a single asset that represents a melee weapon or a unit of troops. And due to your prowess, you can spend a momentum and improve that asset's quality by 1 for the next conflict in this scene. So then we have, you said, resilience in battle, right?
Yes.
And that is, it takes a lot to put you down in a conflict. Usually you can only get 1 resist defeat per scene, but you can do it twice, but only when the conflict is using that skill, which is going to be battle. And then the last one was what?
Subtle step.
And subtle step is when you attempt a move test to sneak or otherwise pass unseen through an area, or when you attempt to move an asset during a conflict, the first extra D20 you purchase for the test is free. So it only costs. So if you wanted to get 3 dice, it only costs you 2 instead of 3, effectively. Or if you just use 1 dice, it doesn't cost anything.
Yes.
Which is pretty good.
I like that.
I can see how there's some synergy between Bertrand and Amy's Fremen assassins.
Alwyn?
Right. Oh, she has a name?
Yes.
Erin?
Alwyn?
Yeah. Okay. It's Eryin. How do you pronounce that?
Alwyn?
Okay. And then, Jeff, you have your talents, yes?
Yes. So I have from Spy Hidden Motives, which is Master of Concealing My Intentions. And let's expand that so I can see it better. You're a master of concealing your intentions and motivations. Few truly know what drives you, even if they think they understand you. When an opponent fails an understand or communicate test against you, you may immediately create a trait which reflects a mistaken belief they have about you. And then, as a Bene Gesserit, I'm required to take Prana Bindu conditioning. You have absolute control over your body. Every muscle and every nerve is under your control, and you have even mastered your own body chemistry and metabolism. Whenever you attempt a move or discipline test which relies on your control of your body, you may re-roll a single D20. You can perfectly control your breathing, heart rate, and your internal organs, including the ability to choose whether to conceive a child and to determine the child's physical and genetic traits. Mm-hmm. And then for my final one, because I'm Bene Gesserit, and what Bene Gesserit is complete without it, I took voice. You've been trained to modulate your voice to influence the subconscious minds of others. With this skill, you can subtly manipulate others, alter motives and moods, or even compel action from the unwilling. You may use voice whenever you speak to someone else, though you must be able to observe them for a short while beforehand, and they must be able to hear you speak. When you use voice, you may add 1, 2, or 3 points to threat to score the same number of automatic successes on any communicate test made to influence your chosen target. The greater the number of automatic successes, the more overt your use of voice, which others may notice. Your training also allows you to buy those automatic successes on any test made to resist the effects of voice.
I see that there's a lot of threat generated, which is good for me. When using these things. Okay. All right. So that was talents. Now we have our drives and drive statements. So those are, the drives are kind of like your stats. They are duty, faith, justice, power, and truth.
Okay.
And how you divide those up. And of course, can ask me questions. So one's going to be at an 8. And then the others are going to be 7, 6, 5, and 4. So 8 is your most important drive, and then the others followed suit. And then you're going to assign a drive statement to the 3 highest drives, and there's suggestions. So we'll get to the suggestions. You can assign your drives. I think maybe Arlen's probably there already.
Spoilers.
I think this makes sense. It might not.
So 87654. So
87654, right?
But no 309.
No. 867540. Yeah.
So does this make sense? Duty at 7, faith at 6, justice at 5, power at 8, and truth at 4?
I don't know. Your power is the pursuit of greater influence, authority, or control over the universe around you.
Isn't that what Fremen do?
I don't know. I thought they're like duty and faith, but
So you think duty should be 8?
well, so duty is a pressure upon a character to find their place in society and fulfill their allotted role, but also how they perceive obligations and personal responsibility.
Okay.
So duty to get the job done. Faith is your moral imperative to take action. I guess power is also when doing the action serves your agenda, either directly or indirectly.
So power is the least to her.
I don't know. I mean, you don't have to necessarily be self-serving, right? Or a self-serving action doesn't always have to take away from others, and could even require sacrifice.
Well, it might be helpful if you tell me what each one is. Duty,
That's what I was
faith, justice, power, and truth.
And yeah, truth is a desire for knowledge and the need to uncover or define that which is true. So revealing the right answers, except if you're uncomfortable, accept the right answer or uncover the right answers, even if they're uncomfortable or dangerous. Truth, when the character's curiosity has gotten the better of them, when they absolutely must know the answer. And useful for uncovering secrets. So truth could be a big one for a scout archetype as well.
Like more important than faith?
Again, faith is your moral imperative of action, whether it's religion or personal conviction. Right. Or even like luck for a last minute plan for the action to succeed.
Okay. Then I'll put 8 in duty, 6 in faith, 5 in justice, 4 in power, 7 in truth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Arlen, does that make sense to you too?
I'm doing too many things at once to know if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay.
But I found an image for Bertrand.
Oh, cool. All right. You also, for the top 3, Amy, we need a statement.
Okay.
And there's some sample statements.
Well, you can.
All right. Unless Arlen can give you some examples if he's ready for that.
Yes, I did mine.
Okay.
Let's see. So the big one that I picked is truth, because I felt like that would be fun. And I paraphrased a famous character from a book and said, "That which exists without my knowledge exists without my consent." Next down is power, and I did power comes from severing, a knife edge, starvation, judicial condemnation. And then less than that is 6 in duty, which is the house is the engine of distinction. And then justice 5 and faith 4, and Bertrand doesn't have anything to say about those because they don't matter.
Yep. Or matter less. Yeah. All right. So I don't know, Amy, you probably want to think. You don't have to give the statements now, but you can think about them. There are some examples if you want examples.
What would an example of duty be from a Fremen?
What must be done, or duty is a sharp blade.
Okay.
Something like that.
What must be done?
What must be done must be done.
Makes sense. Okay, and then 7 for me is truth. So
Truth.
I guess truth could be in the eye of the beholder. Right? Or truth is what my house says it is.
I don't know. I like this one. If I do not know it, it is irrelevant.
That's good.
That's a good Fremen duty too, Amy. That the quote that Arlen found.
1,000 lives in one drop of water.
Drop of water.
Okay, that works.
Water is life.
Well, because that's their whole thing, right? Is they're big on recycling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're green, very green.
And how many statements do I have to do? 3?
One more for number what you have in 6.
Faith.
You have to have a statement for each drive.
Yeah. Our trials are how God tests us.
Okay.
Those who doubt my faith will be proved wrong.
Okay. So doubt my faith, feel my fury.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. Doubt my faith, feel my fury. Okay. And Jeff, do you have your drives and statements? Okay.
So I started off with truth as the top one. Since
you guys all have high truth? You guys all have high 7 or 8 truth?
Well, that's both of the archetypes I was going towards have truth as one of their main things. And I chose for the statement, the purpose of argument is to change the nature of truth. So I shape the truth is essentially the way I look at things. I shape what is true. Duty is my next one at 7. What must be done must be done. That's my statement. Faith is my next. My faith gives me certainty where others might doubt.
Nice.
Then justice at 5. Life isn't fair. And power is my lowest one. All power invites challenge.
Yep.
Since I'm a Bene Gesserit, I don't typically seek power myself, so that's why I figure power is going to be the lowest.
Yep.
For me.
Now, assets. Assets are the strangest concept, I think.
Yeah.
Dune. So, an asset. You guys get 3 assets. One of which has to be a tangible asset, which could be like a weapon or something like that, right?
Okay.
Well,
I want that little gunny thingy. Did we figure out what it's called?
What are those guns called?
You don't want your Chris knife? You're a Fremen. You have to have a Chris knife.
You can have a Chris knife and a little gunny thingy.
Yeah.
And then, another asset, I would say.
Let me look at the Fremen book. It probably has that little gun thingy in there.
Is there a Fremen book?
Yeah, the Arrakis source book.
Do I have that?
So is the Chris gun like CHRIS or?
KRIS, I believe. Chris knife.
Chris knife. Okay.
That's like a worm knife, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's made out of the worm tooth.
Oh, I have sand and dust.
Chris
is it sand and dust? It's not sand and dust.
Yeah, they actually have it where you can create your own siege instead of your house and play as all Fremen as a siege.
Well, I guess we're not doing that. But that's cool.
Oh, and they've got your worm riding rules in here too, Amy.
I want to ride a worm. I have.
This is sand and dust.
Oh, I do have sand and
the Arrakis. The Arrakis.
Well,
I have the physical book too, Amy. So.
Okay. Well, I put Chris knife, but I like that little gunny thingy. It's not really a gun, but you know what I mean.
Fremen assets. Let's look and see what they've got. Sorry. Chris knife is CRYSKNIFE.
Oh, I spelled that with CR. Y. Sorry, CRY.
SKNIFE.
Okay. Okay. Got that part.
And Fremkit. Oh yeah, you're also Fremen typically have a still suit, but
A still suit.
uh, yeah, but I don't know if you want to make all three of your assets be tangible assets.
Why wouldn't they be?
Well, I mean, it would be fairly limiting if you do that, but I mean, if you want to do that, it's
Well,
your decision. It's your character.
Yeah, like, because the other assets could be like you have a group of people, right?
okay.
Right,
So if
that's
I
it.
did the Chris knife and the still suit, and then the next one would be like a group of contacts type idea.
Yeah, it says like the Fremen, where it says in the Sand and Dust book. Fremen technology and desert equipment is in 194, 99, 194 in the main book. Okay. So you guys chose any assets already?
No. Where did you say those were listed? 194.
Yeah.
Okay. So Carl, you said that I could have a group of people.
Yeah, well there's
Oh, 189. Yeah, 189 is where assets start.
yeah, Chris Knight. Like there was a
I like the Chris knife. I like the still suit. I like that. I know what that is. I mean, if I don't have the gunny thing, I don't have the gunny thing.
yeah, there's a the Baradai pistol is the Fremen gun under
Pistol.
tools and equipment. Yeah.
I can always pick one up or buy one, right?
I don't know how that not really.
Not really.
No.
Well, then I guess I'll do it as the gun. I guess I'm doing 3 tangible assets then.
So I'll probably do a bodkin for my tangible.
Can you put the name of that in chat, Carl? What the gun is called?
Oh, the gun, yeah.
Because the still suit, I think, is the one that.
Well, and for you, I would go with the Fremen still suit, which is not the standard still suit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put Fremen in front of it.
One of the keywords is Fremen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would have transports as assets?
They have what as an asset? I have a knife, a pistol, and a suit.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have the pistol, do I really need the knife?
Well, you're not a Fremen if you don't have a Chris knife, so that's
But-
the sacred weapon of a Fremen.
Yeah.
Right, but I also don't want to be running around in the desert and not have the suit. So
Well, you can have your assets are things that you own and are more useful, but you can have other things that are not your like specific character assets that are just right. Like you can have a still suit just basically from the armory, basically for lack of a better term, instead of it's like this is my rifle sort of thing.
yeah.
There's a sidebar about that.
Oh, where is that?
On let me get back to it. It's in the asset section in creating your character, making assets personal. There's ubiquitous. If you can usually obtain a knife or a shield belt if your house is wealthy enough, it may seem pointless to take one as one of your starting assets. And the obvious answer may seem to be that you don't.
So it seems
So
like
I think
so it's fine if I have my pistol, my suit, and my knife. Because I'm not going to be out. I mean, I would think if I'm a scout out running around, my assets would be very personal to me, right?
Yeah.
So, not that she doesn't like anybody else. She just bound and determined to ride around on a worm on her own. Except I think if I can ride the worm, can I take other people with me on the worm?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Chris knife as an asset is really good because it's also a status symbol, right?
Right.
Plus their quality one. I guess the other things. So the Baradai, you could say you have a Baradai pistol, but it's not like an asset. You just have it on your person, right? So it's a covert weapon, useful in relaying messages and distracting others, right? So I guess that's how I'd use it as an asset. And then, do they have still suit as an asset, or does it matter?
Fremen still suit. I'm fine with these three.
Okay.
She's kind of a bit of a loner because she's the scout, right? So I'm assuming
Yeah.
she's like the one that goes and recons and then comes back. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as you guys get, depending on how long we play, right, you can get higher quality assets that would actually be, worth like soldiers and all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah.
So does it say what the assets start at? Other than the Chris knife, which is a 1 right away, but
Oh, I thought that's the quantity. I'll put this back down.
Yeah, it's quality, not quantity.
Oh,
yeah.
how do I? Okay, edit.
Assets. Let's look and see what it says.
So I
maybe
guess quality 0 on everything but the knife, right?
Mhm. So personal assets are items that can be carried. Warfare assets are items too large for a person, and turn a skirmish into a battlefield. Espionage assets are for assassination, stealth, information gathering, intrigue, are used in social occasions. So see if there's an interesting espionage asset. Do you have your assets, Bertrand, Arwen?
Not yet.
So is the Fremen still suit different than a regular still suit?
Slightly.
Okay.
They're typically better made.
Mm-hmm.
See information about assets when you first create them.
Okay, so
but I don't see anything about at character creation what quality they should be or anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
All right.
Something in the about that. Under quality. Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh, it's only some assets that have quality. Not all assets have quality.
Yeah, and as you can increase the quality of your asset with points.
But you told me the knife starts at 1.
Yeah, the knife specifically says 1. I was looking at that.
Yeah, because a Chris knife there is no such thing as an ordinary Chris knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Fremen still suit that starts at 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no automatic quality on that one.
Mm-mm. I guess it's 0 unless it states otherwise.
Oh, and in fact, Chris knives are typically 2s or 3s, but they're the most basic ones are 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can spend advancement points to improve the quality. So
Yeah, so I think the expectation, it's not stated here clearly, is that most of your assets start at level 0, and they're essentially the things. Although in the sidebar, it makes it sound like they're starting higher.
Yeah.
The sidebar makes it sound like, and the example. Let me check the example character
Oh, right. That's a good question. A good idea.
Oh, and it doesn't have that information on the example character. Maybe let's check the starter set characters.
Yeah. It's 0. Father's Rapier starts at 0. Yeah, it looks like they all start at 0,
Yeah, that seems to be what, although the
unless it's
text doesn't.
otherwise noted.
Yeah. I would say that seems like everything that I've seen seems like that's the case.
Yeah. Yep. Everything starts at 0, and then you build upon it, I think.
Okay.
But they only have one. All the starter characters only have like one asset.
Yeah, they
So
don't have
I guess because
multiple assets, but
you choose 2 more or something, maybe.
yeah, so I guess so the main way that assets work is that some of them like allow you to do a thing if you specifically need a thing to do it,
Yeah.
or based on their quality level, they generate extra momentum when you
Mhm.
succeed at something.
Right.
So I think starting things at 0 is what makes sense because that's you have this stuff, but it's not actually really helping you yet.
Get any
Yeah, you
benefit
haven't.
yet?
Yeah, you haven't put time in to cultivate the asset more than just the base.
Yeah, it's the stuff you grabbed out of the armory basically right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Still,
maybe for you guys.
yeah.
I only have one thing from an armory.
Yeah. So there's like intrigue assets to espionage assets, and then intrigue assets. So
Yep.
like
In
debtor,
fact,
old friend, service, land.
I've got a communication asset and a
Mhm.
favor asset,
Okay.
as well as my bodkin for assassination.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I took an old friend and intelligence network. So
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
since I'm a spy, I figure I would cultivate an intelligence network,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have an old friend that can impart certain things when needed.
Yeah,
And
And of course, I need a bodkin since, Canley. I need to assassinate people that I have my blood oath against.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
so do we choose a complication or is one assigned?
Oh, is that what we're doing next? It's complications.
I don't know. I'm asking you. It's the thing on the sheet we haven't filled
So
out outside of ambition.
we did assets. So now we're doing finishing touches.
Oh, well, I guess I know. We know Aaron. I can't pronounce that your name. Amy. That's
Arwen.
weird. Arwen. You already have an Arwen, don't you? Somewhere.
I don't know a lot of Dune names for Fremen that are easy to spell and remember. This is perfectly fine.
You can Google Fremen names.
Or I can
Fremen
keep
name
it the way it
generator.
is.
Okay. All right. Arlen, do you have a idea for your assets? Did you put them on there already?
I'm figuring them out because I guess so I've got a sword and a personal shield as my 2 starter things right now, it looks like, and I'll grab a third one.
Oh, interesting. The character that they make along the way, the sample character that they do in the book as you're going through, only has 3 statements. Only 3 of their drives have statements.
Yeah, you only need them for the top 3.
Okay, so you don't do a 4 and a 5. So I need to remove my 4 and my 5.
Yeah,
that's fine. Those were the ones that were kind of meh. That makes sense. I mean, you don't your lowest priority things. You don't really have a drive to complete those.
I'm driveless.
I don't know what I would do for my trait. So you're supposed to select one additional trait for your character, reflecting the character's reputation and how they are regarded by others.
Where do we put that?
Under personality traits. You should have one from your...
Yeah, she has Fremen as a
I
trait,
have
right?
Fremen, yeah.
Oh, is that the... Yeah. And I have Bene Gesserit.
Yeah, it says additional trait, so I guess you get that one on top of.
Yeah, you choose one. You choose one at the end.
Yeah.
And then you've got any traits that were given for whatever reason.
Yeah, so trait, ambition, and
Carve.
personal details.
Why did you put Fremkit in there?
I don't know. It looked interesting.
That's right.
Oh.
I mean, you could have but like a Frem kit is like allows you to be out on the desert for a while.
Okay, so I don't have to count my pistol as an asset, or just leave it on there and understand.
I would leave the pistol. because it's useful for other things. Like I think for setting up it could be used as an asset to do other things and just shoot people, right? But the Frem kit would include like the still suit and all the like maker hooks and all that kind of stuff. So,
okay, so the Frem kit instead of just putting the Frem
instead of just still suit.
Okay. But it's understood that I have that on?
Yeah. Or you have access to.
Okay.
Because as you realize you're running around naked in the desert, you die.
Or you get eaten by worms, like, repeatedly. Or, yeah. Anyway.
Which apparently really sucks in the Dune game.
It's happened to me 3 times so far.
I didn't get into the beta, so...
It kind of happens in the...
Well...
Oh, Amy, you have friends and family or something, don't you?
For what?
Didn't you say...
Oh, yeah, we can talk about it after we do this.
Yep.
So you probably have a second trait from your archetype as well.
Okay.
So this should be the one that you choose at the end should be your third trait.
Okay, well, so what do I need to put for my personality traits then, Carl? Because all we have is Fremen.
Well, yeah, Fremen, her archetype is Scout.
So it's probably Scout, because like mine was Spy for Spy.
Then
so Scout is your trait is Scout for Scout.
Okay, because we put
basically your archetype is one of your traits.
Okay. So I have Fremen, Scout, and then what else, Carl?
Whatever you choose.
Whatever your last one is going to be.
Something that defines how other people see you.
So drives and ambitions, skills.
It's just nothing that has to do with the character. It's just a trait.
Yeah, it's just like your finishing touches.
It has everything to do with your character. It's how people see your character.
Personality traits. Here they have examples, personality traits.
Do they? Where do they? Oh, under the personal.
Personal traits, maybe not.
Because don't all Fremens have blue eyes?
No, I mean, I think it seems like the character's first trait is normally their title, status, or role in society, their character's place in society, et cetera, right? So, a character's second trait is a more personal, so like just and wise, callous and ruthless, and they paint a basic picture. Sometimes you have a third trait, right? So yours is Fremen. So it's like, right? So you're a scout. So what type of scout are you? That's your personality. Like you mentioned loner earlier.
Well, a little bit. I mean, she's stealthy. The way I would assume she is she's used she's going to scout out or recon out and check things out and then come back. So I guess trusted.
Trustworthy is a personality trait?
I'm assuming so.
Okay. It can be.
I'll put it there. Good enough.
Okay. And then drives and ambition. Oh, we did drives. Like an ambition, like what's your...
Yeah, your ambition is typically based on what your highest drive is. It says.
Yeah. So what's your highest is was it duty or truth? I can't remember.
Duty. I have an 8.
So service to a cause or group, discovering or understanding one's place in the universe, freedom from the strictures and responsibilities that constrain you. So
I would say
that's
freedom
what
is
you're at.
freedom is my ambition then.
Mhm. So, character's ambition is a short phrase describing their ultimate goal or desire. So if we have three people here, I guess we can maybe do the house stuff. When people are ready, if we want to do it, we can discuss house stuff.
I do not want to be in a house that hates Freemans. Fremens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone wants to play a Harkonnen ally, or if you are, then reluctant ally. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Okay. So do we roll and a house gets assigned, or
No, you create it. You
Yeah,
make all
we
kinds of
kind of
roles.
create it. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of create
It's,
it.
it's almost like a PC itself.
Right.
Or you can just join. You could just have it be one of the known houses if you want to. If you don't want to go through and actually create it, but that's part of the fun is creating.
Yeah, I think part of the fun is creating it. Or yeah, so I felt like there was like a character.
Oh, there's a section for creating your house.
Yeah. So that's what I'm getting to. But there's like a house sheet too. There's a house sheet, which is nice, which I pulled up.
well, if you do the drop down on the player sheet, there's one that says house
Yeah.
sheet.
Yep.
Is that where I need to be now?
No, I created a house sheet, so I would just use it. That well, when we make the house, we'll just write on that one.
Okay.
Right.
Can we?
So I guess there's really no role that we do. I think you just decide. Yeah. So it's like the game master. So threat. Yeah. So like you guys have a discussion. Whenever you're ready. I mean, you still have like assets. I think Arlen's still deciding his assets, right?
Mhm.
I've got my blade, my shield, and my basic military training film book.
And Jeff, you had your assets already, right? So it's
Yep.
just, it's just ambition, I guess, is the last
I've already. Yeah.
trait.
My ambition is to expand the teachings of the Bene Gesserit,
Mhm.
and my trait is attractive, since I'm a spy. And my character's name is Saoirse Ronan. She looks very much like the actress.
Oh, you have to
Because I think she would be an excellent actress to play somebody in the third Dune movie.
The third Dune movie, I think, is coming out early next year.
No, they haven't even started filming yet.
Oh. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
I don't believe.
I'm actually fine with you guys creating the house and that I'm just a part of it.
Well, you're like we work for the house, right? So
It's going to be released December 16th of next year.
uh-huh.
Is its current release date set.
Cool. All right. So whenever we're ready, talk about the house.
Okay.
Arlen?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever.
Okay. So I guess the first choice is nascent house, just acquired minor house status, a house minor. And so nascent house, just acquired minor house status. They might have distinguished themselves in battle or at court or developed a device or skill. At this point, the house is only a noble family with a small retinue and a little land granted to them by their patron, House Major. House Minor is an established house, similar to Nascent House, though it doesn't have a lot. But they have a strong tradition or dedication of service to the patron, but not really established themselves beyond their home planet. And their holdings will cover about a third of the world, or might be upon a moon. House Major is one of the ruling power of our entire planet. Several agents and soldiers at its command. Spies and assassins are everywhere, and there are many rival houses, great and minor, that covet the power. So house minors, other house minors usually a rival, and they also serve other house majors as well. So, and then great house is a great power in the universe.
Atreides.
Yeah, Atreides, Harkonnen, Carino.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forget how many great houses there are. There's not many.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I don't want to play the book Dune, so
Right.
I would suggest against being a great house, but you could be a house minor under one of the great houses, right?
Yeah, I would say house minor or a nascent house. Somebody that's just achieved.
Yeah.
Could be
Well, the house minor has a primary and secondary domain, so that's kind of nice that you have two things you might focus on, right?
How about you, Arlen?
Yeah, I like the idea of a house minor. That seems like a good fit.
Okay. And I did have like a thing open. There's a lot of names.
How about one I can pronounce and spell?
Right.
And doesn't sound like something weird.
Yep. I'm sure there's a list somewhere, which is the one I'm looking. Oh yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, the Houses of the Landsrat book probably has a lot of that too.
Oh, Houses of the Landsrat. That's right. I have that.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Houses minor.
Oh, they have like names? Or they have like a generator for names?
No, they have a list of all the houses minor.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look.
We could roll a D100, and whatever number that is in the book is our house minor.
Yeah. But then hopefully it lets you like decide, what.
Don't know.
Okay, no, it doesn't list them. It just talks more.
It
just has more. It just has more in-depth information about. Ooh, here we go. I'm going to have to read the art of Canley in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can name it later, right? We can just before we start playing.
Oh, they have like.
Oh, they do. They do have a bunch of the houses in here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So they just, as far as minor houses, they just have the prominent ones. So they have House Talos, House Barca, and House Tetram.
No, there's like more. Well, they have like major houses, and they have what minor houses are.
Right, but they actually have these three fully statted out and everything, or they have information about them. Actually, they don't have a lot in the. Maybe they do further on in the book, and then they've got all of that. All of the great houses are in here with a full section. So they've got House Atreides, House Ekaz, House Hoggle. Oh, I see. Okay, no, never mind. They list the prominent minor houses for each of the major houses.
Yeah. So they have like House Alexan, and they have Talos.
Yeah. Talos, Barca, and Tetram. Yeah, I didn't catch that was a subsection under the House Alexan initially.
But do they have like when they have these houses? Do they have? Actually, you know what? Let's roll the primary traits, and then we can try to fit. There's a primary domain and secondary domains, right? So we could decide those and then see if there's an interesting fit. All right. So there's several areas of expertise: artistic, espionage, farming, industrial, conley, military, political, religion, and science. Right. So you guys, as a house minor, you get a primary and a secondary.
Meaning what?
So based on your espionage seems a possible one with all the kind of characters you guys have.
Yeah.
And either military or Conley. That seemed could be another one.
I would think more military.
The espionage and military.
Well, we also, I mean, we don't have to have a house that specifically does like the things that our characters do.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably be a good cover for us not to. If we're trying to, especially if Jeff's character is out assassinating people, my character's out sneaking around.
Keep in mind that just because we're from that house doesn't mean that we're known to be from that house. But also keep in mind, I'm with your house. I'm not part of your house.
Yeah, the only house rep right now is Arlen. We'll see if BJ's able to play what he makes, right? So
right, yeah. The same thing would be with you, Amy. You're not from this house.
You work for.
You just work for him.
Then it's really up
because you're a Fremen.
Right. I'm a bit of a
just like I'm a Bene Gesserit, so I wouldn't. Bene Gesserit never belonged to a house.
Right, but I think my character would be pretty dedicated to a house, though, especially if they serve that house.
Yeah.
Is it Bertrand, Arlen? Is that your character?
Yeah, Bertrand.
What kind of house?
So Bertrand, what kind of house are you that we're serving you?
Yeah.
We're now
maybe you're the heir for the house. And that's why you have us servants.
I don't know that we would necessarily be servants. I think we just...
Advisor, spy master.
Yeah.
Right.
Concubine.
Well,
that's what many
just
Bene Gesserit serve as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it depends. If they're trying to influence the birthing trees of the Bene Gesserit, then they're typically done as concubines.
What do you think?
They serve many other roles as well.
Yeah. What do you think, Arlen?
So I'm going to put forward as an idea that our house primary domain should be industrial and our secondary domain as espionage, because I think that's a cool mix.
Industrial.
And that also gives us a very kind of like,
that's a
classic minor house just working hard at their thing.
Yep, that seems like a good.
Okay.
And
industrial.
What kind of name do you want it to have?
Industrial, and then you said espionage.
Espionage.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't spell espionage.
Sorry, I'm yawning. ES.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of name do you think, Arlen?
I don't know.
Let's see what they got here.
So what great or major house do you want to serve?
Yeah, because there's prominent minor houses under here.
Is there one that's industrial and espionage? And then we'll know what major house maybe to link.
House Hoggle is industrial.
What?
Industrial machinery.
House Hoggle?
Is there industrial produce is their primary and industrial machinery is their secondary. Well, one of the two secondaries.
And they have House Ptolemy. Under them is House Ptolemy.
Which is their soldiers, does their military, it looks like.
House Seleucus is their engineering cadre. Mining and equipment, that totally makes sense for Arrakis.
What do you think?
And House House Cassandra is a relatively new house.
Does their gemstone mining.
But Seleucus is gemstones, right? And other gemstones. Okay.
Yeah, Cassandra does the preparation and processing
Ah,
of gemstones removed. So the gemstones that get excavated get sent to Cassandra to process. It sounds like.
yeah. So Seleucus is like the manufacturing engine mining equipment.
Yeah. Oh, and that's so we need to not just decide on industrial. You need to decide of what type of industrial.
Yeah.
Industrial machinery, produce, expertise, workers, or understanding.
Mhm.
What were you envisioning, Arlen?
And same thing for the espionage. We need to decide what subsection of espionage.
Yeah. So are you thinking for industrial machinery, like factory machines, spacecraft, large vehicles, produce, expertise, supervisors and business managers, workers, understanding, new techniques for business management and factory operation? What do you think? Yeah, espionage could be workers if we guys are the ones on the ground, right?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. We could do.
We provide. Yeah, your house provides the espionage people for. Actually, it could be expertise. Would be another.
Yeah, expertise.
Spy masters and agent handlers.
Yeah, maybe that one.
Mm-hmm.
Expertise.
But yeah, expertise or workers. It seems like for espionage would be a good one.
Yeah.
Well, that could be a cool. We could do our major thing as industrial workers, like skilled craftspeople, and then the minor thing could also be espionage workers, as we're good at making basically like union infiltrators too.
Right, we're trainers of people in both aspects.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
Okay, cool.
Does that make up like a double-edged sword?
Yeah, so like you provide the factory workers, the craftsmen, the mechanics, right? And then, but you also, from within, you have the agent, spies, and infiltrators. So vetting people, right? Yep. So let me see. That's kind of cool. So
I kind of took the espionage part as we would be imposing ourselves on other houses. That's how I took it, but I guess not. It's okay.
No, it's what you do. So like it's our house or his house would be a facilitator of those types of people for the houses that they serve, the major house or major and or great house they serve.
Okay.
So you want it? So you thought that one? What were they?
Sulcus?
Seleucus.
Does that work for you guys?
Called the engineering cadre by those in-house Hagal. Is it Hagal? Hagal is the
Hoggle? I thought it's what you said.
Yeah, Hagal is a major house that you are under. And Seleucus specializes in design and manufacturing of mining equipment. Cassander is more like people. Although Ptolemy is also people.
Are we looking to be one of the ones that's
No, you don't have to. We could just come up with the name, and then we can roll randomly to see what major house. Do they have all the major houses here?
Yeah, it looks like it.
So you could just roll randomly to see what major house you were under. There's so many minor houses, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Arlen, did you have an idea of what name you wanted?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Carl, you want to roll randomly?
Yeah, I can go back here.
Because I'm wondering if
houses.
this is something that we could pause here and then introduce when we start playing. We can introduce it to our audience. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a
Plan.
decent enough suggestion.
Yeah. So maybe in summary, we should, and to end, everyone can summarize their characters, and we'll get back to the house, but we have an idea or a template, and I'll work on that, or we can work on it on the Discord or something.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right, so I'll go Bertrand first.
All right. I'm Arlen, and I'm playing Bertrand, who is a tactician driven by knowledge and power. He's insightful and good at combat, and not as good at any of the other things. And he's really good at capitalizing on chaos, basically, because that's like all that his talents do. Is just add extra threat for extra effects.
All right.
Carl's going to love our threat generation.
He'll have a lot of fun.
Oh, well, I mean, that's good. That's good for me.
For him.
Okay. And then we'll have Amy.
Okay, I play Albine, and she is a scout Fremen. Her ambition is to be just freed. She feels as though there's too many people on her planet. She wants them gone. And she has a strong drive for duty, faith, and truth. And she is a bit of a loner. She's kind of, I guess you could say, almost an assassin in a way. But she's sneaky and stealthy, likes to ride worms.
Hopefully we'll get to do that.
And,
right,
and she has bright blue eyes, and I already put a picture of her. So.
Right. And finally, Jeff, you can introduce your character.
I'm playing Sorsha, the Bene Gesserit spy / truthsayer.
Yes.
I haven't quite figured out how she's attached to the house just yet.
Yeah.
Whether it's as it might just be as a truthsayer, but it probably just as an advisor at this point.
You advise I assassinate, and Bertrand is the only legitimate one in the house at the moment.
Yep.
Until later.
Well, it's probably going to be, well, we'll see what BJ makes, but we'll see. But Bertrand might be your mission then, is to
recruit.
Well, you guys go to Arrakis and see what's going on.
You never know.
For the house.
We're one of the investigator groups sent to figure out what's happening.
Yeah. Well, so I guess the premise is going to be, and then we can close out. The premise is going to be, right, this is that. So the transition has just happened, right? I think.
Okay. So Paul's just taken over.
Or Leto has just taken over.
Oh, so this is before the movie, or the very beginning of the movie.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Sounds good.
So then we'll go from there.
And that would make sense then, that we had sent somebody to make initial contact with the Fremen, and Amy is our Fremen advisor while we're.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's probably some grumblings in the Landsraad about, what's going on here. It seems very, very odd. Right. And so you guys are probably sent by your house, or depending on where Bertrand fits in the house, as wanting to go find out what's going on there.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Good. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys for showing up and making some characters.
Yeah,
I'm
looking forward to riding a worm instead of being eaten by one.
Okay. We'll see. I'll have to see how we can incorporate that. All right. Well, thanks, guys, again. And thank you, listeners. And I hope this was informative. Right? It's not like rolling dice. It's a lot of decision making in the character creation process. And we will see you again when we run some Dune adventures in the Imperium. You guys have any questions or comments? Anyone?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night and good rolling.